Good morning students, this is Joy Varghese from Uncovering Chemistry. Today in video 14 of our unit 8, that is redox reaction, we are going to talk about displacement reaction, in which the second part, that is another subtopic, is the non-metal displacement that we are going to discuss. Okay, now what is this non-metal displacement, what happens in that? So generally when we say the non-metal displacement redox reaction, the non-metal displacement redox reaction involves what we say, the displacement reaction include hydrogen displacement, here. Now hydrogen displacement, this is very important topic, word what you need to remember, hydrogen displacement. So include hydrogen displacement and a rarely occurring oxygen, rarely occurring reaction involving oxygen displacement. Clear? So in most of the reaction hydrogen will be displaced, while in some other cases what we see, what will be displaced, you can see what will be displaced. In rare cases oxygen will be displaced. Okay, now for this we will see the first one, that is all alkali. What is the word? All alkali metal and some alkaline earth metal. Now what is alkali metal and alkaline earth metal? When we say metal, these are S block elements. What we say, alkali, that is group 1 and group 2 in your periodic table. Which one? Group 1 and group 2. See, group 1 and group 2 in your periodic table that we are going to discuss. That is, see here, you can see this one. Okay, so these are the alkali metals and alkaline earth metals. So this is group 1 and group 2. This all we are talking about. They all, what we say, alkaline earth metal. Some alkaline earth metal, what is given? That they are calcium, strontium and barium. Calcium, strontium, SR I think, strontium and barium. Okay, now these are that alkaline earth metals what we are talking about. Okay, they react, that is all alkali metal and some alkaline earth metal, which are very good reactants. These are which are very good reactants, reductant means reducing agent. Reducing agent means what? Itself gets oxidized. Okay, so reductant means what? Reducing agent and which itself get oxidized, what we say. Will displace hydrogen from cold water. Will displace hydrogen, okay, from cold water. Means these all are reaction of non-metal which displace hydrogen from cold water. Understood? So this is of cold water reactions what we are going to see in that all. One by one we will see here. Okay. The first reaction, what is that? That is, you can see 2Na. Now Na when we say, so it is a alkali metal. Metal, not metal. Okay. So alkali metal. So 2Na plus 2H2O gives you what? 2NaOH plus H2. So this is the hydrogen gas which is liberated here. Elemental state, this is 0, water plus hydrogen plus 1 is plus 1, minus 2, plus 1, like this. Okay, so in this case if you see, Na is oxidized. Okay, and here hydrogen, hydrogen if you see, plus 1 to 0 means it is reduced. So O and R I have written here. Okay, same way if you see the second example, what is given in your book. The second example is about calcium. So Ca plus H2O gives you what? CaOH twice plus H2. Understood? So here we need to balance this thing. Now it is balanced. So in this case, calcium 0, here plus 2, here 0, here plus 1. So calcium, what we say, is oxidized, and hydrogen if you see now is plus 1 to 0 is reduced. Understood this part? Okay. So this was about what we call it as alkali metals. They react with what? What we say here? They react with the cold water. Understood? In metal reaction with the cold water, reaction of metal with cold water, it will give you which gas? Hydrogen gas. So this was the first part what we say. Now less reactive metals, when we say, that is alkaline, what we say, no, less reactive. Understood? So okay, next one we will see this part. Okay, so this was the displacement of what we call it as hydrogen from cold water. Is it clear? So here who is oxidized? What we say? Sodium is oxidized. It will act as a reducing agent. This sodium will act as a which agent? What we say? Reducing agent. Ri I am writing here. Understood? And in this case, who will act as a reducing agent? Calcium will act as a reducing, because the reductant, what the word is given. Okay, for calcium, what is written. Now the next part what we say is with less reactive metals I am going to talk. This all you have to write in your fair book. Complete your fair book, it will be helpful for you to understand this topic. Now the next one is less active metals. What is the second part? Less active means less reactive. Active means reactive. So less reactive, the word is very important, less active. So less active metals such as magnesium. Understood? So this magnesium comes in alkaline earth metal, and iron react. You can watch that. Okay, react with steam. What is the word? Steam. So this is the reaction of metal, non-metal, what we say, metal with the steam. Okay. So this is the word which is very important, with the steam. Steam means water in which form? Liquid, what we say, what a vaporized form, what we say. So here, less active metals such as magnesium and iron react with steam to produce dihydrogen gas. Understood? Now in this case an example is given for this also. You can see Mg plus 2H2O. Mg plus 2H2O, what we say, will give you MgOH twice plus H2. MgOH twice plus H2. In this case, you can see here, I write oxidation state 0 plus 1. My elemental state means 0. We have seen in rule. Minus 2 plus 2 minus 2 plus 1. For this, what we say, or whole everything total. You can write minus 1 also if you want. Minus 2 plus 1 and this one 0. Okay. So in this case, if you see what happened to magnesium, magnesium is oxidized. Why? Increase in oxidation number. Okay. Then if you see hydrogen, in this case, hydrogen, what happened to hydrogen? So it is reduced. Okay. So this is one example. Second example, what we say here. Second example is of Fe. 2Fe plus H2O gives you 2Fe Fe2O3 plus H2. This hydrogen what we get, that all are gases. This is a magnetic oxide also you can say. Fe2O3 ferric oxide. What is this? Ferric. Now why it is called ferric oxide? The reason is the oxidation number of Fe is plus 3. Here it will be 0, plus 1, minus 2 and here 0. So if you see in this case, what happened to Fe? So it is oxidized. Okay, and what about what we call hydrogen? If you see here, it is reduced. Okay, so this is an example of less active metals that react with what we call water. Which water? What type? It is of reaction with steam. So this is an important part what you have to remember. Now, many metals, including those which do not react. That first we saw about cold water. Second we saw about steam. So the one which does not react with cold water are capable of displacing hydrogen from acid. Means the metal which do not react. Now the one which react with cold water, that was sodium and calcium what we see. So remaining one which are there, which do not react with cold water, reacts with what? Acid, to give what? What does it give? Salt and hydrogen gas. That I am going to discuss next. Okay, so I will note this. Okay, now I think we will take this in. Okay, this video only we will complete. The metal which do not react with cold water reacts with acid. Reacts with what? Acid. This is very important. You must have studied in lower classes. So it reacts with acid and displace hydrogen. Okay, reacts with acid and displaces hydrogen. Okay, are capable of displacing hydrogen. Now, the metals which do not react, in that the three metals what I am going to discuss is about. First one, if you see, is of zinc. Second one, what we are going to see is of what we call magnesium. And third one, what we are going to discuss is of Fe. Understood? So, when we talk about this zinc, so Zn plus what we call it is 2HCl, right? So, we know metal plus acid here gives salt plus hydrogen gas. Okay, this is a general form what you have to remember for all these reactions like this. Okay, so same way Mg plus 2HCl again gives you salt plus and Fe plus 2HCl gives you salt like this. Okay, now in this case if you see here, this one will give you salt as ZnCl2, in this case MgCl2, and in this case FeCl3. Understood? These are the salts which are formed, what we say here, MgCl2, ZnCl2 and FeCl3 will not be FeCl2, ferrous, okay, chloride what we say, okay, plus in all the cases you will see there is liberation of H2 gas. Understood? So in this case if you see here, in this case 0 elemental state, here plus 2 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1. So what happened in this case? Zinc, if you see zinc, what happened to zinc here? Hydrogen, it will be 0 what we say. Okay, 0 and this also 0. So zinc is oxidized and hydrogen, if you see, is reduced because plus 1 to 0 it is. Same way magnesium plus 1 minus 1 plus 2 minus 1 and here 0 I have already written. Okay, so in this case from this only you can make out here, that is magnesium, you can see here magnesium Mg is oxidized, clear, and hydrogen is reduced. Okay, for this reaction I am talking about. Is it clear? Same way here it will be 0, here plus 1, minus 1, here minus 1, so here plus 2 and 0. So if you see Fe, so we can say Fe from 0, so Fe is oxidized and hydrogen is reduced. Okay, so this all reactions, what I explained, that is, we don't react. Metals which do not react with the cold water reacts with what? Steam and displaces hydrogen. So here you can see this hydrogen is displaced, and what will take place? The metals will take place to form a salt, what we say. Understood this part? Hydrogen is displaced, and this all metals, they make salt by displacing hydrogen. So this was all about what we call it as reaction with the steam. Okay. In the next topic, there is again what we say, the displacement of non-metal. Still few topics are there which are left out, but that we'll discuss in the another video. Otherwise this video will become very lengthy. Okay, thank you very much.